Hello everybody. If you have a Chamberlain or Liftmaster garage door opener that is a belt drive, and this might apply to even other brands, but I know for sure that on a Liftmaster or a Chamberlain, this is the procedure you need if you want to restore the tension to the factory setting. This is what the spring trolley nut looks like when it comes from the factory. You can see that the silver ring nut is just about 1/4 of an inch away from the end of the trolley nut. But if you've installed this, you've released that nut completely. And if you're wondering how to restore it back to this condition, because you've moved your chain, moved your belt, or you've had to move your opener, you had to disassemble it, or you're putting a new belt on. I'm not sure whether a new belt comes with a new trolley nut, but if it doesn't, this is the procedure that I used to get this restored back to its original factory position. I'm sorry I didn't shoot any video while I was doing it. I wasn't really sure I was going to be successful, but as you can see, I've successfully put the ring nut onto the trolley. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need 11mm wrench. That's for the square end. And you're going to need a 1/2 inch socket, which is going to go on the other end. And then you also need to make yourself a gauge. This gauge shows the correct position of the distance from back behind the ring nut to the stop on the trolley nut. So that's how far you have to depress this in order to be able to twist this ring nut into position. Let's look at this for a minute. Looking down, you can see the flat at the back is at the top, and I've got a notch or keyway slot where I have this flat also right here at the top. This flat lines up with the flat on the back. And the way this works is you have to rotate this roughly 60 degrees to get these little notches that are on the inside of the ring nut into this slot. So twisting this allows these little notches to rest inside the notches on the trolley nut and allows the spring to release. So how do you put it back in? Here's how I did it. I have mine in a vise. While you're compressing all this, I would highly recommend safety glasses. Here's the 11mm wrench on this end, the trolley nut, the spring, and the spring lock nut. Once you get all these positioned in the correct order, you can start to compress the spring with your vise. And when you have it to this distance, to the correct distance, you'll be able to twist that nut 60 degrees so that it catches. So you line up the nut ring so that the interior notches can engage the trolley, and when you get it compressed to the correct dimension, you can rotate the nut ring 60 degrees and then release the vise, and it will look exactly like this. The purpose of the wrench is so that you can hold the trolley while you're spinning the nut ring. In my case, it didn't really move, but if you have the nut ring in the right position, you should be able to almost twist it by hand or with just a little small screwdriver. You can twist it 60 degrees so that you end up with it looking like this. You see the slot at the top, and the notches in the nut ring are roughly at the, let's call it 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock position. Don't over tighten your vise. That spring will compress very easily with the vise if you have the nut ring in the correct orientation. Again, this is the finished location. This is not the starting location. The starting location, this nut ring, is roughly 60 degrees this way. So that's my helpful tip for you today. Here's the instruction sheet from the garage door manufacturer. This is what I have right here. This is the before. And then the after is after you twist the nut ring and allow the spring to release so that it's jammed up against this stop here. So if you found this video helpful or informative, please give me a like, thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. And again, sorry I didn't shoot any video while I was actually doing this. But it can be done. Be very careful, be safe, wear safety glasses. Thanks for watching.